Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip, the coffee drinker. What is going on? What is going on, everyone? Today's a great day. We're actually going to talk about Sologenic. We're going to talk about Elad Roisman. We're going to talk about John Deaton. But we're going to start off with Sologenic because there is a solo drop coming. There's a core drop coming. There's more core solo drops coming. There's this whole thing that they just dropped today on everybody, and a big announcement. And Bob Ross had some things to say about where solo right.
Bob Ross, isn't he the painter who paints all those stuff?
He's the painter. We're gonna talk about.
Oh God, you're crushing me over here, man.
We're gonna talk about paint by number.
Let's talk about Bob Ross.
Bob Ross. Bob Ross. We're gonna talk about the Sologenic, the solo drops. Man, there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on today. But solo at the top of the list. BitBoy. Apparently, there was a little bit of a scuffle between a few of the community members and some BitBoy fans out there. But we're gonna get into that. That all happened on Twitter. But yeah, man,
I got everybody,
into it. You did. Yeah, you did get into it. You dove directly into the shallow end head first, right into it. But that was awesome. So, hey, you know what? We got a lot of this stuff getting ready to kick off. While we're getting ready to start, why don't you guys shout out where you're tuning in from? And Chip, if you're ready to kick
City and country, let's do this, guys. It's going to be a great show. Stick around.
Welcome to On the Chain.
It's just one of those laughy shows tonight, man. By the way, we're going to start off with Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
Here's Bob Ross, the painter. If you guys don't know him, he's a phenomenon in the U.S. I remember he used to have a show on PBS where he would take a paintbrush that you used to paint your house, and he would do these majestic sceneries right off the top of his head. He'd be like, and then you do this, and I remember when I was a kid, you try to follow along with it. It's like, what? And he would make these amazing paintings. It was just incredible. And then you do a waterfall. And this is how you make the trees. And this is how you do now there's a bunch of Bob Ross stuff you can get him. You get him out, like, his family has continued this. But he was just, he's cool. He had that cool fro, with the beard. Like he rocked the beard way before that was cool. I mean, I don't think anybody had beards back then. He had the beard, he had the curly fro going on, man, the perm. Just awesome, man. Oh my. He's a good dude. It's fun to watch him. But no, we're actually talking about Bob Ross. Sorry about that, guys. We just have
Bob Ross, not Bob Ross.
Yeah.
Now we got onto the Bob Ross topic. But quick shout out to Notorious.
Oh, Notorious put out that video, man. Dude, that video is awesome. Flip the switch. I wish we could play parts of that, but you got music in there. We're getting crushed. So, but I watched that. That was awesome, man. That Flip the Switch video. Sweet.
Right. Hey, another big shout out to XRP rocks.
We'll just say XRP rocks. Procs.
Yeah.
Jeff, what is going on? What are you ingesting helium over there tonight? What's going on? I mean, we're not helium. What is it called? The laughing gas. What's that called, guys? Come on, drop in the comments.
Nitrous
oxide. Yeah, nitrous. It's like Laffy Taffy tonight, man. It's very crazy.
Working on the car out here. No, I'm kidding.
That's what happens. So I guess what we'll do is I want to throw a couple of these things. So interestingly enough, now this happened 2 days ago. And obviously today, a lot of stuff dropped about solo, but this is kind of interesting leading up to it. But XRP Venture put this out. He goes, I feel like the solo price will drop like a rock after the snapshot, just like Songbird did, SGB did. And then I wrote this. I said, Bob Ross, you got me saying that out, Jeff. Bob Ross said Sologenic would roll out some new tech geared towards solo holders on Monday, December 20th, today. My guess, it's a DeFi staking yield product, a benefit for solo holders. They will need something to hold off the selling pressure, right? Sell pressure. And then Bob commented on mine. Yeah, this is yesterday. He commented yesterday and said, no, certainly bigger than that. December #December 20th. And so interestingly enough, that did happen today, Jeff. And got to pick up today. And so there's a lot of stuff to digest about this, but I have to tell you that There's a lot of logic thinking going on over there with the Sologenic boys and gals. This was over on Yahoo Finance. This is Sologenic reveals Coreum, a fast, interoperable, and scalable layer 1 smart blockchain with low transaction costs and a carbon footprint. Like everything's jammed into that headline. It's like
That's a lot.
and a free bag of cookies and maybe some coffee with that. I mean, it has
You know
everything.
what they should. Or if you had if you wanted to have
And a Bob Ross painting,
the exact opposite of this, you would say Ethereum reveals Ethereum, a slow, non-operable, non-scalable layer whatever
layer 1
smart blockchain with extremely high transaction costs and
debatable whether
else.
it's decentralized or not. So that would actually be what they would actually talk about there, Jeff. And then like
that'd be spot on.
Right.
Not that I'm bitter or anything for all the time and money wasted today again, trying to move Matic and Ethereum around their ecosystem at excruciatingly high gas costs.
Yeah, again, we keep getting into these same things. It's just really bad, Jeff. It's not a good look at all. It's a real bad look. I wanted to put this up there. I want to play this. Hopefully this plays. Let me see if it will. Oh gosh, full screen's unavailable. Good gosh.
Look at that.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we're off to a good start already, Jeff. So what I'll do is I'll go watch it. I'll go look at it on YouTube. Yeah, we'll just watch it on YouTube.
Can you get that thumbnail any smaller? Make sure the volume is as low as possible.
No, I was trying to make it full screen, but it wouldn't allow me to do it full
that
screen.
was
So
not
now
functional.
Yeah, it's which is weird because did I freeze it?
Not working.
Hang on a second. No. I got
full max headroom.
No, because the thing is, you got to share the tab, and it's got to be the right tab, and otherwise you don't get the sound. Why just share any tab? Why does it have to be that tab in here? So let's go ahead and try this. Let's do this.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Okay, guys. So this is Meet Coreum, fast, interoperable, scalable layer 1 blockchain, low cost.
There are many different blockchain networks. Each is trying to solve a specific use cases. Some lack modern consensus protocols, and some are economically non-viable for DeFi ecosystems. Bitcoin is an excellent store of value, but its transaction processing is slow. Ethereum is a great technology, but its current underlying infrastructure is not natively scalable. The high transaction fees make this technology almost unfeasible to be widely adopted by financial institutions. Some blockchains are fast and cost-efficient, but lack modern architecture such as smart contracts. Meet Coreum. Coreum is a third-generation Layer 1 blockchain built to serve as core infrastructure of future blockchain applications. The Coreum blockchain is simply the solution to improve all current weaknesses and provide developers with an essential infrastructure to build any decentralized app, from DeFi and metaverse to gaming, even banking and remittances in the financial industry. Coreum interoperates with existing blockchains while processing efficient, secure, fast, and sustainable transactions. Let's take a closer look at Coreum's architecture. Consensus mechanism. Coreum uses a bonded proof-of-stake consensus mechanism that allows for staking, non-custodial delegating, slashing, and governance. Speed and quorum. With a block time of 1.5 seconds, Coreum is extremely fast and can process up to 7,000 transactions per second, with a federated group consisting of 9 validators that rotate every 4 hours. Core token. The core token is the native token of the Coreum blockchain, a transactional token that facilitates all operations and functionalities on the Coreum network. Transaction fees, validators' rewards, and token burn mechanism. It is imperative that a blockchain can sustain and be economically optimal during heavy load or not load at all. Coreum uses a stable fee model that maintains the transaction fee regardless of block size and network activity. A dynamic ratio of fees generated through each block will be used towards validator incentives, rewards pool replenishment, and the remaining portion is burned on the network, making Coreum's economy deflationary. When the network is busy and transaction volume is high, Validators are incentivized directly from the transaction fees. When there is less activity, incentivization is through a reward pool designed for low traffic times. This pool will be filled with excess transaction fees during heavy loads. What's the outcome? The more transactions, the lower the fees, while validators and delegators are still incentivized. Smart contracts. While many blockchain networks currently use the Ethereum virtual machine, Coreum benefits from the modern Turing-complete WebAssembly engine to process smart contracts. These contract applications can be written in many languages and compiled into WASM before processing. This feature allows for extensive growth in decentralized applications within the Coreum ecosystem. Interoperability. With hundreds of blockchains currently being used, Coreum deploys a bridge functionality to interoperate with various chains through the collateralized wrapping. This allows for other cryptocurrencies to flow into Coreum's ecosystem seamlessly. Built-in modules. Along with the built-in non-custodial bridge functionality, Coreum has a built-in full-featured decentralized exchange module with synthetic order book functionality. On-chain token issuance, minting, and tokenization. With a native support for the issuance of any fungible and non-fungible assets on-chain, Coreum takes asset issuance and minting to the next level. This built-in functionality even allows issuers to customize their tokenized assets with optional features such as wallet whitelisting, burning, and freezing for when it comes to the heavily regulated financial markets like stock and ETFs. Use cases. Coreum provides developers and financial institutions with a complete essential infrastructure to build any DeFi applications. Coreum even incentivizes and provides grants to qualified developers to build intuitive dApps on the Coreum blockchain. Some of the proposed use cases of the Coreum blockchain are tokenized securities, liquidity providers and market makers, cross-border payments, banking and remittance, stablecoin ecosystems, lending platforms, wrapped cryptocurrencies, decentralized exchanges, metaverse applications, NFT marketplaces, gaming and play-to-earn apps. Now, let's compare Coreum with the existing popular blockchains.
There we go.
Generation.
Yeah, so
This
far
is
there's
the
a lot.
539 mark.
There's a lot going
was a-
on here, right?
It was a lot, it's a huge ecosystem. I'm trying to figure out, exactly where it fits in. I'm reading some of the comments, and people are kind of tuning into this and saying, hey, you know what, this is they're kind of going off on the way the video is put together. But it seems to be a lot. There's a ton packed into this. What are your thoughts so far before we kind of get into, and I've heard, some of them they're critiquing what they're saying about the 539 point, which is now when they start going after XRP, but we'll see that here.
Well, first off, yeah, let me get into that, but I wanted to read Doc's Gambling. Thank you for the support. He says, Merry Xmas, you dirty bastard. Just kidding. Merry Xmas, gents. Thanks for what you do. We're going to get our day very soon. Keep digging and fighting the fight. Yeah, appreciate that, Docs. Doc's Gambling right there, man. Appreciate that. Beautiful. Yeah, keep digging. You also have a happy holiday yourself. Really appreciate that. Yeah, Jeff, I was looking through the comments too during the video as well, and it's interesting. I want to stop it here just for a second, kind of unpack it. Don't worry, Liz, we will keep playing it. She's like, keep playing the video. Who's saying that? Electric John's like, keep playing. We will. We usually do stop it at least one time, but it's going to be interesting to watch this stuff. There's a lot to talk about here. But let's finish the video up here.
I want to see what they have to say right now.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Pause it after the interoperability.
Yeah, right on.
Interoperability. On-chain governance.
Okay, pause it again. It's just going to go through the... We'll pause it at the end, and we can compare everything.
Transactions per second. Transaction fee. Block time. Energy consumption. Consensus mechanism, smart contract and DeFi, native DEX.
Okay, so if we unpack it from here, You know, if you just
lot.
put it up against look at XRP, 1,500 transactions versus 7,000 a second. So,
Well, the problem with that, with the XRP, is that that's still, can still be scaled beyond
it can be, yeah.
1,500. So, and there's still more that can be done. So you're looking at but they're also referencing, are they referencing first generation, with XRP, with the XRPL that is, ever changing, as it goes through the validators and the votes and expansion, even as they talked about side chains, I mean, so the XRP ledger can keep growing and building from first generation. And it might already be in a second on its way to third generation technology, where versus core, do they really need to, it's interesting, they're checking a lot of boxes though, and there's plenty of space, my opinion, plenty of space for other players. And, let's see, let the best companies win. If there was only one company, Chip, then we'd all be buying Apple stock.
That's right.
And there would be nobody else.
That's true. Isaac wants to know, when did they test the tech? That's a great question. I don't think I know. But Tony Fisk says magic right there. It's just simply magic. So I don't think there's much more to this. Let's watch the end of it.
Distributed cloud computing and storage. Coreum.
Everyone.
Built by the community for the community. A project backed by the Sologenic Development Foundation.
I do have one comment, on the voiceover. I would have had a different choice. I mean, I thought he did a pretty good job. Not sure if they handled that internally, but I would have hired somebody that was a little bit more eloquent, and could have carried the whole thing. There were a couple points where I thought I wasn't understanding, and it was good that I actually had the writing to reference back. But then, but I thought overall there was a lot of information, put in there, and they're trying to get as exciting. When we saw the kind of the Stellar, they had their video rollout, Ripple had a video rollout, and it was just like we watched it, and you're kind of in awe when you're done. This one, wasn't as exciting, but there was, a lot of detail they were packing into there. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I think that I was pretty impressed by this how, when Bob Rass commented on my tweet, he's like, no, it's much bigger than that. But I mean, you had privately had said, I think it's more smart contracts. And it's everything. It's DeFi, smart contracts. Also, you notice the cross-border slide that they had shown on screen had two logos. One was PayPal. The other one was Swift. So that's, it's funny that they would sort of enter that space as well. But I think what's interesting about this project is that, one of the things a lot of people were, and this is what the original tweet that I showed, this is where Venture was saying, look, there's probably going to be the same thing that's going to happen. But the thing with Songbird is a test net, right? Yeah, you can earn rewards. Yes, there's a value. And yes, but when you have tokens on an exchange, it's not reality. It's like you have such a low number that you could buy. Remember that prior to the actual distribution of that, they were available on BitTrue. But that doesn't necessarily mean that price is reality. You can buy it for a lot, and then the price, because all of a sudden the market became flooded, and then the real price took over. So that's why I think you shouldn't really even look at these coins or before they're actually dropped, because it can make up any number. There's nothing to base it on, especially if there's so little. And you guys have seen this with the airdrops. There's like so little out there that they're priced really high, but it's not a fair amount. But we talked about the sell pressure. So the snapshot happens on December 24th. Everyone surmised that, okay, people will get ready for the XRP, whatever that drop's going to be. And then a solo is going to be, at one point it was 1.4 to 1. It's probably going to be around 1 to 1 when it actually happens, right? Now, they actually, with the rollout of Coreum, is it Coreum? Yeah, Coreum. With Coreum, they're actually doing something very unique and giving solo holders a reason to hold. And we'll jump into that too, but I wanted to say that this was up on, oh, good Lord. Okay, so let me do this. Let me share this thing again because I was sharing the video and now I got to share the screen. Okay, so if we look at this right here, this is from Yahoo Finance. No initial coin offering. Coreum is an open source project. It's 100% community based, allows the tech to support extensive future growth and decentralized apps, applications, the DeFi space, the whole blockchain ecosystem. The first round of core tokens airdrop distribution is scheduled for February 2022, destined for the Sologenic community and solo holders. The very first snapshot to be taken at a random time between December 24th to the 31st. So you don't know when they're going to take the snapshot. So it's almost like the 24th happens. Do you want to go ahead and dump your solo? No, you wait. And the reason being,
go
ahead,
ahead,
Jeff.
No, I was going to say, I'm looking through this and there's some good comments here. Again, in terms of, I'm looking at the way they're orchestrating this now. The idea behind it, if they came out and they had an announcement about all of this, hey, that's great. But I believe, some of the feedback here is kind of spot on. One of them, these companies realize how strong the XRP community is, and they'll do whatever it takes to jump to the top. But part of that, and Jim D is talking about here, the magic of bait and switch marketing by pimping the XRP ledger. And I kind of, agree with that, that they, and this is one of the things that I've questioned right from the beginning. Why were they doing the solo drop? What was the purpose? There's no purpose to the solo drop, to the snapshots with the XRP. Why did they pull the XRP community in? Why did they have this whole conversation over trust lines? What difference did it make, other than marketing and kind of reinvigorating the Sologenic platform, but, to the point, is it a true bait and switch, or is it something more that, they're using marketing in a way that is a little bit deceptive, but they're giving something away. So it's both good and bad, but you can almost feel like it's kind of in a gray area that I don't feel super comfortable about it right now, because, the idea that they were bringing out solo and they said, if you have XRP, they're going to give an airdrop of solo to XRP. And then if you have solo, they're going to do a match on that as well on the 24th. Now, all of a sudden, with this big announcement, like we're talking about, now we've had all this, this excitement within the XRP community, and that's what they're trying to do, and to draw more attention back over to solo. Now, you can do that, and they've done it, I think, fairly effectively. However, now all of a sudden they're saying, okay, really the idea of giving you free solo was that they were paying for marketing. They're, instead of paying Google for the marketing, they're giving everybody free solo asset. Even if you held XRP, they captured your attention. Now they've got your attention. Now they're saying, well, on the 24th, we're also going to be doing another airdrop of a brand new project called Coreum that, by the way, is going to, in their mind, going to be on par or better than the XRP ledger. And here's why. And they're not trying to try to, dump XRPL or dump your XRP holdings. They did a very, kind of sound job of drawing the eyeballs, but I don't know, it's like Jim D saying, I mean, what are your thoughts, Chip? Is this kind of like a gray area of marketing, or are they, this is the decentralized space. It's the new way. Why pay Google money when they can pay it directly to the consumer?
Well, you're probably going to be surprised by this, Jeff, but I have a completely different take on this. 180 degrees different from the way you look at it. I see this as an extremely brilliant move. And the reason I say that is because let's take a look on screen here. Let's take a look at why some of this is the solo price. Now, if we go back to one of the low points here, it was trading at about, there's 16 cents right there. And this is back on Friday, October 29th. All right, 2 months ago, it was trading at 16 cents.
You want to make that any smaller?
Well, I can make it bigger there. There you go. There you go. I always forget that I sometimes don't, but because I've got this massive screen sitting in front of me, right? And if you look up here, Jeff, it's like, okay, so it's already hit a peak of $6.55. We had a little bit of a dead cat bounce today, and it's now back down to 371. It was actually a little bit lower than that. It's kind of gone up and down. But
like 320.
so here's the brilliant move here. So they're doing a lot of cool things. This is very strategic in the way they planned this out. They knew that by part of any ecosystem is engagement. So I will agree with your point about the marketing to some extent, but you have to get people to use it. If you in the best way to get people to use it, if you do somewhat of an airdrop and people are absolutely, engaged with this, and then if we go back over here and look here, again, this plays directly right into it. The snapshot to be taken on the core tokens will be distributed to solo holders. So what are they doing? They're setting you up. Usually you say, okay, there's going to be a token drop. It's going to be solo. If you're XRP holder, you're going to get a smaller amount, but they're rewarding people who are purchasing the token and giving them more, right? So if it's a 1-to-1 ratio, I don't know what the final is going to be.
You're basically agreeing with what I just said.
Well, no, but you're
exactly what I'm saying.
I said I would agree on one point. I disagree with the whole marketing. It's not about marketing per se. You can't market something to somebody. If I give you something, you're going to use it. If I say, here, drink this drink, you're going to drink it, whether you like it or if you don't like it, you give it away to somebody. If someone gives you something, I'm saying to some extent, but the real thing, the real point with this was very well thought out. So what did they do? They inflated the price per token that it was trading at, like the low teens forever in a day. It's kind of like oscillated, but it jumped up to $6. And my point is that this is the tip of the iceberg. Usually they go like, we're going to do a drop. Like for tomorrow night, we're going to have Vagabond, and we're going to talk about their project. Now they set up a trust line, and they had so many coins that they could drop on. Okay, so the whole point is you're going to use it in the ecosystem. Same with Songbird, right? That's why Flare is the one that said, okay, XRP holders. Why? Because they know it's an engaged community. The brilliance behind this move was they set the solo holders up to be engaged and also to hodl it. Why? Because you're going to be able to earn more by hodling. So that's why I like. And by giving the XRP community solo, you're also encouraging them to hodl and earn. So if you look at this,
well, I'm not disagreeing with that either. The longer term perspective of what they've done, I'm saying it is brilliant. My only point up until then, and I agree, the longer term strategy of what they're doing is getting people to hold their asset for a very long period of time. Because if you're going to do all these airdrops, you're not going to want to get rid of solo. My point was just the first segment, which is the marketing aspect, how they dragged the XRP community into it. Because if they wouldn't have done,
did you feel the same way? Did you feel the same way about Flare when they did it?
No, because I thought Flare also was using a good marketing strategy to draw attention.
You're confusing the word marketing. Marketing is different. Marketing is, hey, buy this ad, you can buy the product.
Well, I disagree.
Marketing. You're distributing it.
But they're distributing, but the marketing aspect is their Coreum product, because they distributed free token in order to market their Coreum platform on the people. Because now you're getting exposure to Coreum. They could have just launched Coreum.
I would say the word you're looking for there is promote. Marketing is a different sort of a set of scenarios.
To me, it's the same.
To me, it's not, because I work in marketing.
Promotion. I do as well. And promotion and marketing and sales is exactly the same. It all crosses over and it intertwines. And marketing, that's where we're seeing this intersect.
But it's
kind of like duplicitous marketing.
No, but I see what they're doing here, but I think the ecosystem is strong too. They're building, it's a third, layer, but it's also has a lot of really strong properties. If they're going to go ahead and tokenize, but the interoperability, look, to be able to compile code and into this, I forget what they call it, what their acronym is, but to be able to compile code. So now you're bringing interoperability to it, which is very similar to some of the other, some other projects out there. That to me makes it real strong. And then here, the system will take one snapshot at a random daytime each month for the next 371 days. First snapshot is going to be taken on a random 24th to 31st of December.
Well, that's strong. This is probably if you compare this to what Vagabond is doing, and we're going to talk to them more about that. But to me, this aspect is better than what anybody else has come up with.
No, it
in
is, but I'm
terms of
saying
the ongoing.
right. But I
ongoing
see the brilliance.
snapshot,
If they
13
just did a solo one, because we talked about, they were like, well, what are they doing? What's the whole point of dropping the solo token? This is the point
This is
about
it.
dropping the solo token, because
Right,
now
exactly.
they want you to engage in the ecosystem. And then, and again, this is different. Solo's a token, arguably has utility, right? They talked about tokenizing, but the whole ecosystem they built with Coreum is a very big one. You've got, or Coreum, I should say. Then you have total 13 snapshots are taken within 370 days. Core tokens will be distributed via an IOU on the XRP ledger. And once Coreum's mainnet's launched in August, users can conduct a token swap through a gateway designed for Core. And alternatively, the coins can remain and coexist on the XRP ledger and be traded on the Sologenic DEX. Man, ticks every single box right there. Brilliant move.
I think
Brilliant
so.
move.
This is what I like about it, Chip, is that they're focused on interoperability, and this is where they're understanding the benefit of the XRP ledger, and Sologenic understands the benefit of the XRP ledger because they utilize the XRP ledger to build their initial platform. And so there's so much to this, and so really, if we're looking at the longevity of product and making sure that people, when they get, and I think, Chip, one of the things that you brought up before when they're talking about doing the solo drop, is that people, and we saw a lot of reference to this, people are going to get their solo drop and then they're going to dump it. Now they said, hey, hold on a second. We're giving you 1-to-1, 1.5-to-1, whatever it is, 1/2-to-1. It doesn't matter, of solo to solo. And the XRP is also benefiting. If you have your XRP, you'll get solo. But all these ideas of saying, hey, I got my solo, I'm going to sell it and I'm going to dump it on the market, that all just went away because, to your point, now on the 20 between, so the snapshot for the solo and XRP is on the 24th. The snapshot of solo to core is on sometime between the 24th and the 31st, but then they're going to keep doing snapshots. Yeah. So you'll have other opportunities to participate, and they're going to do 13 snapshots in total, meaning that you're going to say, hey, I want to keep adding my solo tokens, because if I keep holding solo, I'm going to get more core.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They're brilliant stewards of the XRPL, right? They understand XRP and they studied it. And this to me right here is part of the brilliant part of it. While many modern blockchain networks are currently using the Ethereum virtual machine, which we've talked about, it's just a failure, Coreum benefits from the modern Turing complete WebAssembly, what they call WASM, WASM engine to process smart contracts written in many languages, compiled in a WASM before processing. So this is the brilliance right here. This is what brings in the interoperability. And the other thing is they're getting around is whatever language it's written. You don't care. It doesn't. And then here, among other features, Coreum will offer cross-chain interoperability. Massive. So it's cross-chain, also the language, everything's rolled into this. Block time of 1.5 seconds, the ability to process 7,000 transactions per second. Dynamic. It's really, really well done. And also too, the other thing that impressed me is on the videos, they talked about the reward pool. The reward pool is there to always incentivize whoever's running nodes, because on the low times it's like, why would you process it? It's the whole concept of Bitcoin, right? That there is a reward pool for low traffic times. High traffic times, it takes care of itself. You don't care about that. So the pool will be filled with excess transaction fees during the heavy loads. It's a cool problem. It's got the whole sort of yin and yang there. It's got, they really thought this through quite a bit. I'm just impressed. We'll have to keep an eye on it, and talks about financial markets, stock, ETFs, and yeah. So I wanted to show this. There's another big get. Carl Hua, current chief,
saying that you are less skeptical than I am.
I am less skeptical because I like the direction of the product. It's very ambitious, okay? But I am less skeptical because I compare it to everything else. I mean, I just told you with Flare, these guys are moving quick. They've been working on it for a while. We've got Carl Hua, who's the current chief architect at Celsius, ex-head of DeFi engineering at Ripple, JPL NASA engineer, and Michael Zakowski, current VP at Filan, ex-head of Ripple X product.
A
Okay.
NASA engineer. Come on.
Well, I'm just, but the point is, like, it's all about team.
They got some solid people.
They got two big gets right here. You got two. You have ex Ripple, you have ex Celsius. You know, the current chief architect at Celsius, and it's incredible. So I think that that right there,
so
the team is strong.
Team is strong. You know, I'm sure they're going to make a success out of the project only because they've made a success so far out of Sologenic and everything, and Coinfield as well. So we can't forget about, you know, what they did there. You know, so I think overall, you know, they've been around. The difference between them and Flare is that they've already been around. They've already done it. You know, they have an assembled team. And so they've have products that are already in market versus Flare, which is building their product and developing their product. And they needed to test and sandbox their product. And so hence Songbird. But there's still a lot of work to be done to see what happens with Flare. Flare still has a lot of opportunity out there, a lot of potential. And so what if it takes them an extra year? Where's Ethereum? You know, so I look at another one. I think Ethereum isn't going anywhere. You know, it's going to be big box corporate, but or big enterprise. But the thing is, there's inherent problems with it. And so far, no one's really identified and fixed these inherent problems. And it needs to be interoperable. And so that's where Flare went interoperable. It sounds like with Coreum, they're focused on interoperability. They want to continue working with the XRP ledger. They understand the benefit of the XRP ledger. I think they, you know, might have addressed the XRPL a little bit unfairly with their check boxes, you know, in terms of it, you know, being a generation 1 product. That isn't scalable. But beyond that, you know, I think, man, there's nothing wrong with developing a project, you know, especially coming from a strong team. Like you said, I just think it's the tactic of how they kind of latched into the XRP community, which is the marketing strategy, which, you know, but now it's there. It's here. Flare's doing it. They're doing it. You know, everyone's doing it.
Look, the brilliance of that is that you have an engaged community that's going to engage in it, because what happens, and again, to a large extent, you see a lot of things coming from Vagabond. Now, Vagabond is on, it's not on, it's also on Binance as well, I believe. I think that's the other one. So they had an ICO on that one, and they're also in the XRPL. Yeah. So it's kind of split. Now, why did they choose the XRPL? Both of them have their own strengths, and both of them have two separate crowds. So you're playing to two different sort of, you know, you could have a team, but you're playing to the favorites of both, or, you know, two separate teams. And it makes sense because a lot of people are either sold on that one or the other one. And it's great because so you see a lot of brilliant things that are happening in here. And I just think that it's a very ambitious project. I think it's incredible. But let's segue off that for a little bit. Wanted to get to this John Deaton tweet, who will be here Wednesday night. Guys, you don't want to miss Wednesday night. Wednesday night is going to be something
epic.
We've never done this before, but we're going to bring people in. They're going to ask a question of John, and then they're going to hear their answer, and they're going to skedaddle.
We won't even let them hear their answer. We're going to kick them out right away.
Boom. Andrew, did you finish your question? Boom, we'll kick them out.
You done with your question? Yes, you're out.
Okay. So here it is. So John Deaton put this tweet about the Connect to Congress. And if you haven't done this, you connect to Congress, get your local rep and your 2 senators. So in 2 months since launching with zero coordination, advertising, promotion, I'll throw marketing in there. Jeff loves that marketing word. We have surpassed 10,000 messages. All 100 senators and all U.S. representatives, except for 4.
Advertising.
Yeah, except for 4 have been contacted. So there you go right there. And then he said, we must force each member of the House of Representatives to state his or her position on crypto and digital assets. Imperative to identify Brad Sherman's of Congress. Shermanators of Congress. As Patrick Bet-David stated on his podcast, the Crypto Coalition will have a huge impact on midterms. We are bringing it. Yeah, there's going to be live questions. That's right, Crypto G.
Live questions. People are going to come in, ask their question of John Deaton, and move on. But Chip, this is really key right here. And this is something that was, like he's saying here, brought up on the podcast. This is massive because the cryptocurrency space has become a political movement, and this is where things get done. And the election cycle is right. And granted, cryptocurrency is an international, phenomena, as obviously we know that because we have people on with us tonight from all over the world, including, New Zealand and Australia, way over in that part. But it's amazing to me, Chip, that, if you see this gathering of people, many people that are in the crypto space, cryptocurrency is the first asset class that they truly invested in. But investing in cryptocurrency and educating and learning in this space also means that this is maybe one of the first times they've also gotten extremely political and started looking at things from a geopolitical perspective and really understanding, why just one individual congressional representative can make all the difference. Why one state representative, why a commissioner of the SEC. Now, we're faced with Roisman resigning. And obviously there's some reasoning why he's resigned. But think about the impact. I mean, think about the impact that's going to have. Now it's only Hester Purse on her own. It'll be her and 3 other Democrat commissioners and Gary Gensler, who we know, this other person they bring in is going to be anti-crypto. They just have
balance it,
a
Jeff.
methodology. I would hope so.
No, I think they have to.
I think they should have to.
I think they balance it. I think they always have to have at least, they can't have more one party than the other. So
I don't know. There was some talk that they're going to replace him with a Democrat. So I'm not sure. I thought the same thing.
Well, all of it doesn't really matter anyway. So it's all temporary.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
again,
temporary until 2020.
Never interrupt your opponent when they're in the middle of absolutely just destroying themselves. You're like, okay, hey, take the wheel. Good luck. Drive the car. And just getting on the other things, Jeff, I came across this tweet, which I found to be pretty fascinating. It's stuff we've talked about before. Look at their Electric John. Thank you for that. Really appreciate that super
John
sticker.
Is on fire.
John is on fire.
It's amazing how many people we have up in Canada that tune in.
I know, a lot of Canadian. It's so funny. I tell the story all the time about how my grandfather immigrated from Hungary to Canada. Then he was the only one out of this massive family. There were there were multiple sets of twins, and that was a whole crazy. I'd love to learn the original story of it because it's just insane. You can know where I come from, a crazy family, but they moved down, and then
no punks.
I love that picture too. And if you look at this, so do you have any X-Punks? No, I don't know any X-Punks.
I've got none.
By the way, we're going to be releasing our own one. You're guys going to want to own ours, so that's all I got to say. Is you guys are going to fight each other.
Mad Max, what is up?
Mad Max, thank you very much. Mad Max, also a great movie.
Go ahead, keep down that. Keep down that track.
Yeah. So anyway, we're working on a project too, and it's pretty badass. I can say it's badass, right, Jeff? That's part of it. Look at this. The biggest companies are hiring for crypto: Reddit, Visa, JP Morgan, Nike, and a lot more. Here's a thread on what they're looking for. So Reddit is hiring a senior engineer to help them build an NFT platform for millions of people to trade NFTs. And then they state that the NFTs will play a key role in how fans support their favorite creators and communities. So think of that. NFTs play a key role in helping creators on the Reddit platform. There it is right there. Then you've got Meta, formerly known as Facebook. They're looking to integrate crypto and payments. Manager will be responsible for redesigning and implementation of the processes that support payments in crypto. There you go on that.
Are they still trying that?
Apparently, Jeff. So Visa is all in on crypto. Director will be responsible for creating new revenue streams via crypto products. Also responsible for seeking interesting investment opportunities. Then you've got Walmart. Walmart's hiring a crypto expert to lead its crypto strategy and product creation. Job hints that Walmart will seek to invest in crypto-related companies. So it sounds to me like they're going to create some kind of a fund, and then they're going to go ahead and invest in these funds. So it's just insane what's happening right now. How about Amazon? They aim to help increase crypto adoption. The job indicates the expert will work with financial institutions and help them drive change in crypto. Role hints that the firm will also help companies custody their digital assets. So it sounds like they're getting into the custody game potentially here, Jeff.
That's exciting. I mean, you're seeing these big companies getting into cryptocurrency, and it just tells you that crypto isn't going anywhere, that
No.
it is massive, and it's just a matter of time. And then you start thinking, is everything by design? Is what's going on with the SEC and the delays and, all this stuff within Congress, is it all by design until the big corporations are able to catch up? I mean, you think about it, the big corporations, the big banks, the brick and mortars know that they're about a decade behind, right?
Right.
Even though some of the big banks, Bank of America and others, have been, filing for patents for years, as far back as like 2013, 2014. Walmart has got all sorts of blockchain patents, and actually one of them I brought up today. I was talking to somebody, and he said, "Hey, do you hear what they're doing over in Sweden?" And they have some little microchip in Sweden that they want to implant in people, so it's easier to track their status. And I said, well, you realize that about 2-3 years ago, Walmart actually filed for a patent and got a patent on an RFID chip for the healthcare space. So that all of your health data could be on this RFID chip that they implant into you. So scary stuff, Chip. But the big corporations are actively involved in building, different things. So
That's pretty cool. Someone actually put something up here that I wanted to. Where is it? Someone talked about the. I always say that when these things can't go by, and I was actually looking for it because it is very, very cool. Nope, and I don't see it. Oh, and it's gone. It's Johnny. Is it Johnny Lawrence who put that in the tweet about the his limited series that he did? I was trying to pull it up, and it's like you try to type and search for somebody, and it's impossible to try to find.
Well, while you're doing that, I want to pull up this tweet. So JV, thanks for putting this out there. But Hester Peirce had put this regarding Commissioner Roisman. Commissioner Roisman's work has benefited investors, the capital markets, the SEC, and our nation. I cannot overstate the privilege of serving along someone so humble, hardworking, patriotic, and principled. And this is, based off of, his resignation letter. And I want to look back, if we think about September 5th, 2018 was the confirmation of Elad Roisman by the Senate for a vote of 85-14. And I said, you know what? Let's look and see who were the 14 that didn't want him there. Right. So this is September 5th, 2018. This was on the nomination and confirmation of Elad Roisman to be a member of the SEC Commission. 85 yeas, 14 nays. And then you say, oh my God, look at this, all these different votes. So let's vote group by position. So you have a lot of yeses, 85 of them, Democrats and Republicans alike voted. And then we have 14 that voted no. So who are the 14? Some of these names you might recognize: Booker, Durbin, Feinstein, Gillibrand, Harris, let's see, Sanders, Schumer, and Warren. Obviously, there's a couple others here, but some of those, the key players. Obviously, we would expect Elizabeth Warren. We'd expect Schumer, Sanders. Some of the key people were very much against having Elad Roisman there. And I find it really interesting to see which senators voted against it. And so that, to me, it's all telling. And here we sit. And now he resigned a little bit early because he was there for a 5-year term. So we're supposed to have him until 23.
Yeah. But maybe he's just had it, man. I mean, it's like it was fighting an uphill battle a lot of the time. Sure. I think it might just be, maybe somebody's done at that. So you get to a certain point where you're just done and you're like, hey, so Fidelity's looking, Apple's trying to hire an expert to lead alternative payments partnerships. Canada should be experienced working with digital wallets. Firm CEO recently disclosed that he owns crypto. That'd be Tim Cook, who's driven that company into the ground, by the way, just FYI. JP Morgan, of course, the ones that hate crypto. You got Jamie Dimon, who's always talking bad about crypto while he's stuffing his pockets. And so it's just incredible. I mean, Nike is looking for hiring for the metaverse. Nike just bought a company that made digital 3D shoes for the metaverse, and they just acquired it because it's easier to buy versus build. And I mean, it's just,
what happened with Adidas? Didn't Adidas just sell their first
yeah, Adidas did as
NFT?
well. Adidas, you have Pepsi coming into the marketplace. You had Budweiser, all these big brand names jumping in here. So to think that the only thing that happens here is people lose, and the U.S. loses. This is why we've got to stop this. What's happening right now? It's absolutely just tragic that one of the most amazing first new asset classes in the last 400 years. How do you not understand that? I mean, how do you not get what that's about?
Exactly. So look at James Filan, who was saying that he said Aled Roisman has announced he's leaving at the end of January, and he says, "I think the SEC is in disarray at all levels,"
Agreed.
and that definitely points to it. I mean, it's amazing. I don't see the White House rushing to fill this Republican vacancy. There's a 3-1 Democrat majority, and any appointment means Senate hearings and approval. And I doubt Gary Gensler wants lack of crypto clarity discussed in Senate hearings anytime soon. The White House has no impetus to move quickly.
But you see, they have to fill it. They have to fill it with a Republican. That's right about that. Democrat leads, fill with the Democrats. So this is kind of like, but he's right. He's making a great point. I don't think it matters because I think the backlash against the SEC right now is so heavy and severe that nobody, it's incredible right now. So the other thing I wanted to mention while we're here is I want to talk about tomorrow night. We have Vagabond. We have Dr. Thomas Riegler coming on. We have Naveed Kiani Larajani coming on here. And these are two key founding members of the Vagabond project. Blockchain accessible to everyone. They got some cool stuff that they're doing with business apps, but the ability to be able to spin this up is absolutely incredible. What I'd like everybody to do now, I'm going to drop the video in there, and then you go ahead and when you come in here, I'll just focus in on that. In the bottom left corner on YouTube, it'll say set reminder. Click on that, and then you're going to get a reminder for tomorrow night. It's always good when we post these a little bit early, but you're not going to want to miss tomorrow night. It's going to be a phenomenal night. And we're going to we want to jump into the project. I know there's been a lot of talk about the airdrops and all that, but we're going to dive into the project itself and really talk about what the opportunity is here. How does that incorporate the VGB token and everything else? So guys, go ahead and click on that link and do all that. There's one other thing that
XRP speedboat said, "Ring my bell."
And I think about that song. You can ring my bell, ring my bell. There
you go.
I did have something. What happened to that?
Crypto G is saying all week OTC is going to be literally on fire.
Hell yeah.
We got a ton of great stuff coming, man. It's going to be great. You know what? Having Vagabond here is going to be outstanding. Really digging into the project, understanding a little bit more about what they're doing over there. Hopefully, we can get Bob Brass over here as well. Maybe we can get him in here in January just to dig in a little bit more into how their project is, rolling, so people get a little bit better of an inside look into what's going on. I think that'd be really cool. And then obviously on Wednesday, Chip, pull that one up because we got to get some, make sure everybody is setting the reminder on the John Deaton video. So Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here with Johnny Deaton. We have a couple special guests from the YouTuber community as well coming in here to ask a few questions. So we'll have a decent number of people coming in. We got some people from the On the Chain community. It's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to it. This will be something brand new to bring people kind of in and out, but to ask these questions. I'm really excited to have John Deaton here to get an update and really get into some detail. And it's obviously going to be a completely different conversation than the
That he
this
was on the
podcast, that
Patrick
podcast we just
Patrick
did
Bet David.
with
Yeah,
Patrick
Patrick
Pat
Bet David.
David. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this one
Hey,
here.
Vlad Ponzar.
Oh,
big
thank
shout
you for
out.
that. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you.
XRP to the stars. Moonshot. I love it. Thank you, Vlad. Appreciate that, Vlad Prawn Star. I said prawns. It's not prawn. It's Pawn Star. Prawns, you eat them. I'm like, must be hungry or something. Sorry about that.
Vlad the Pawn Czar. That's a nice one.
Pawn Czar. Self-appointed too.
Vlad, do you have a YouTube channel for all your items? Nice.
Yeah. Do you have a? Because that sounds like some sort of a. I mean, say like I'm Vlad Pawn Czar. Like you have to have some kind of a YouTube channel. But thank you for that support, man. Yeah. That's beautiful. Appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you. Look at this. So Dan Morehead runs Pantera Capital. This is interesting. I want you guys to get excited because sometimes we get all caught up in the minutia of this and that and the SEC. Forget about that. Get that out of your head right now. Dan Morehead is a serious guy, is a serious player in the industry, knows what he's talking about. Cryptocurrency is the most asymmetric trade in a generation. It's disrupting the biggest markets on earth, including gold, bonds, gold payments, and money. And something like 90% of institutional investors have no exposure to it yet. Now we're going to look at this chart right here and look at 90%. This. And this is kind of, remember, Jeff, where you and I pulled this up where we looked at all the money and how all the money moves and how massive it is. There's the crypto, 2.5 trillion. Now imagine, if you will, if you're listening to this, it's just a little ball in the corner. It's like the Earth sometimes compare. What's that big planet out there, Jeff?
The sun.
There's a massive planet out there. It's like
number 9.
It looks like the smallest planet compared to the largest planet.
We're talking about planet number 9.
Look, so global digital payments, 5 trillion, gold, 10 trillion, global M2, 100 trillion, and the global bonds, 120 trillion.
Yeah, that's amazing to me.
It's just so minute, Jeff. It's just so minute. You know what I mean? It's like, this is why we always forget about this.
It's really impressive. Well, it's impressive. I mean, everybody, when you're in it, you're like, oh, everybody must know about the crypto space. And it is. It's just it's still so early. It really is. Oh, there you go. There's the planet hierarchy. Do they have planet number 9 on there?
Number 9. No, they don't. But look at that. He's like, just look at that right there. Like Jupiter is the one I was trying to think of. Like you look at the size of Earth compared to Jupiter or Mars. I mean, look at Jupiter's just massive. Saturn's pretty big too. It's just incredible. And you got Mercury is this tiny little planet, and Pluto got kicked. Wow, excuse me? Excuse me?
That never gets old.
Never does, man. It never does. It's always the greatest thing ever.
So hydroponic Alan is saying, Chip and Jeff, I know you saw my hydroponic system.
I did. It's very cool.
To replace your lemon tree with hydroponic systems on the back wall on me for the new year.
That would be awesome. Beautiful. I gotta love that for sure. Hydroponics. Hydromatic. Yeah, so I thought that was just incredible. And sometimes we just forget, man. We just forget how massive it is. We're get so caught up in this. And it's like we're so you always hear you're early. You're early. I mean, it's already starting to be madness. Look at all the companies that are into it. Look at everybody plunging, all the brands plunging head first into the shallow end for some major maximum impact. They don't always get it, but they're jumping in there. So anyway, Jeff, what else do we have? So I wanted to also bring up, while we're on the subject, I wanted to bring up onthechain.io. And again, if you haven't signed up to get our email, just go ahead and sign up. You do on the homepage. There's no cost of that. And again, if you want to know how, go ahead and read that, Jeff.
So Mad, this is interesting.
This is very strange.
Nobody on my team of 10 at work, all devs, are into crypto.
What?
What do they
say?
Develop?
What? Wait, you got devs that aren't into crypto? That seems so incongruent. That doesn't make any sense.
10 of them. So
especially since they should understand the tech, and that's pretty wild. So what do you develop for there, Mad Max?
Interesting.
I'd like to know more about what you do. By the way, if you go here, you want to draw. So I just said Mad Max So Mad Max, what you do is you go over here, you click on the contact page, and you can go ahead and fill out this form. It comes directly to us. Put whatever name you want, whatever your email is, subject, but drop us a line. Love to learn more about what kind of dev you are. And then you just hit send. And Jeff and I review all these. We read them all. That's one way to send us a message. Here's the other way. You can hit us on Twitter. Either Jeff or I are also on the chain too. That's another way you can reach us. You can send us stuff.
They're Cobalt devs.
Cobalt. Oh, Cobalt. Okay, got you. And then you got right here, you can.
Wasn't
yeah,
real.
and then of course too, you can also, if you want, you can subscribe too. People have asked us, how do we support? Yeah, it's monthly. It's $10 a month, or you can do an annual for 90. But again, it's if you want to support the channel ongoing and you dig what goes on here. Otherwise, just show up and you get it for, it's always going to be free. The content's always free. And we do broadcast 6 days a week, Jeff, if you didn't know.
E4 Rogan said they're institutionalized devs.
Institutionalized. They are institutionalized.
So we do stream 6 days a week, 8 p.m., Sunday through Thursday, and then Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's great. It's a good time. If you're brand new here, you've never been here with us, and today was your first day, it gets even crazier. So it's always a lot of fun, a lot of great stuff to talk about. Sometimes we don't even cover the stuff that we plan to cover. And that was great. Oh, and don't forget about that. Keep pointing down. There's right below this video, you'll see a nice little red rectangular box that says subscribe and a little bell notification. Once you click it, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifier, give it thumbs up. It actually does work, because whenever I get this set up, all of a sudden I get a notification about 30 minutes before we start.
Right on.
I'm like, holy crap, it's time to start. We got to get everything ready to go. And then we normally start at 8:05, just clockwork. So it works out well. But Chip, as a last parting note to everyone here, appreciate everybody being here with us. We are wrapping up this year, which is amazing. 2021 is coming to a close, and this year has been an amazing ride. And Wednesday, was really, if we think back a year ago, SEC v Ripple, that was a kickoff that really motivated us to stream 6 days a week. We went from streaming 1 day, maybe 2 days a week, and making some short videos to, what? We got to get the message out there and start getting the people together and build this community in 6 days a week. And it's been outstanding. And we do have by far the best and the brightest in the YouTube crypto space. They gather here every single night, Chip.
I hang out on other chats, Jeff. I know. Not to say you guys don't hang out in some of those other places too. I'm just saying, there's a whole sub show going on in the chat. So that's all we have. And again, guys, you want to be back here tomorrow night. We're going to have the Vagabond crew here talking about the project. We'll have John Deaton here on Wednesday, and of course Thursday just be Jeff and I. So, but what a great way to finish the week. And we're coming to a close, wrapping up 2021. Can't wait to get out of 2022. Great things, big things ahead. So, Jeff, you have anything else?
That's it. Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Let's do it.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.